Hello, and welcome to another X-Pro tutorial for SolidWorks modeling. In this tutorial, we will be creating a model of this air duct reduction or conversion, since it's converting the pipe from cylinder to rectangular one. And we have a conversion from a smaller diameter or a smaller opening to a bigger one. We will be creating this model using sheet metal features in SolidWorks. We are going to begin by creating a new part. First thing I'm going to do is show this front plane. And what I want is one plane in front of it and another one behind it. We have to create a new plane by holding control and dragging this to the left. We're going to make these 650 millimeters. And let's create another one backwards. Same 650 millimeters. Also double-click the scroll button to make everything visible. We're going to begin by creating a sketch on this plane one. We can hide this plane and the front plane. And we are going to begin by creating a center line from the origin upwards. We're going to make it 600 millimeters along. I can expand this plane, just so that it's where my sketching area is. And now I'm going to use a 3-point arc to create an open circle. So let's make these 2 points here, and then drag it like this. And I'm going to make the arc and the origin coincident. Here, you can see that this point and this point are horizontal. These 2 points are symmetric over this center line. Now we can add a dimension saying that this here is 1 millimeter. We have a fully defined sketch, which you can see here. Now, we can hide plane 1, and let's make plane 2 visible. Now I'm going to draw on this plane. Like in the first step, I can expand the plane. And let's first hide this sketch. I'll start by creating a center rectangle. Let's make it 1700 by 1700. I'm going to expand the plane a bit more. We can add fillets in these corners by using the sketch fillet function. We can make the field at 100 millimeters and do the same for each corner. And let's confirm the command once more. And now, like the circle, we have to have an open rectangle. What I can do is add a center line from the origin that just goes upwards. It doesn't have to be coincident with this line. And I will offset this line to the left by 0.5 millimeters and do the same on the other side. Let's just reverse the direction. Now we can use the part trim with keep trimmed entities as construction geometry turned on to remove these 2 lines and just make sure that nothing happened here. We have an open rectangle. I'm going to exit the sketch. Now let's hide this plane and make this first sketch visible. You can see that the openings in the rectangle and the circle are in the same plane. This is very important because otherwise this feature wouldn't work. And now using Lofted Bend, we will create the reduction. So let's start by opening the feature. Here you can see that you have 2 manufacturing methods. One is bent, which we will use. We will select this rectangle and the circle. And you can see that we already have a preview here. For face setting options, we will use number of bends, and let's make it 8 for sheet metal parameters. The thickness of the sheet metal will be 10 millimeters, and the radius of the bands will be 10. Also, this factor for sheet metal is 0.5, and outer relief is 0.5 also. But one thing we have to do is reverse the direction. So I want the material to be inside of these sketches we created. And there we go. We have created the reduction. Next thing I want to do is create flanges, which are going to be used for connecting this reduction to the rest of the pipeline. Let me just hide this sketch here. We can do it by creating a sketch on plane 1. Let's use a circle and we can offset this by 100 millimeters outwards. If I hold out, I can see that I have 2 contours, but SolidWorks will automatically select this one. We can go to Features Extrude Boss. Here we can see mid-plane and make this 10 millimeters thick. Now let's add some holes for bolts. We can make a sketch on this surface here. What I can do is offset this circle inwards by 50 millimeters. We can convert it to construction geometry and add one more center line, a vertical one like this. Here we can add a circle that can be 22 millimeters in diameter. Now, drawing all of these circles wouldn't make any sense. So we can use a circular sketch pattern actually. For the line where the pattern will be formed, we will use this circle here. Let's clear this. I will select this small circle for the sketch that will be a patterned sketch entity. Let's make this 20, for example. This looks good and let's confirm the command. But as you can see, we have an undefined sketch. So what we have to do is make any of these patterned circles fully defined. So let's choose this one and make this coincident. What I can do is move this. So let's make this coincident also, and there we go. We have a fully defined sketch. Now we can cut these holes. Let's go to Features Extrude Cut, and let's select up the surface, select this one here and confirm the command. This looks good. Let's save this part. Next, we want to create a flange on the other side. The difference is that this one will be rectangular. Let's create a sketch on plane 2. We can create a center rectangle. Let's make it 1705 x 1705. We can add sketch fillets that are 100 millimeters in radius. Now we can offset this sketch. Actually, let's right-click and select chain. Now we have selected the entire sketch. Let's just offset this 100 millimeters outwards. And I want also an offset that is in the middle of these two lines. So again, I will right-click on this line and select chain, offset 50 millimeters. And let's say that construction geometry will be offset geometry. I will move these dimensions a bit. Let's firstly create the flange. So let's go to Features Extrude Boss. Let's select mid-plane and 10 millimeters. Now I will show this sketch and let's create a new sketch on this surface here. I will just add a circle, 22 millimeters in diameter, right in the middle of the center line. And let's extrude this hole. Let's go to up the surface and select this surface here. Next thing I want to do is to pattern this all the way along this center line here. The way I can do this is by using a curved drawing pattern. But what I need first is a curve. How can we create it? Firstly, I will need a sketch, so I will right-click here and select this contour. I will again select the chain, and let's go to Convert Entities. I have created a sketch, and now I can exit the sketch. Firstly, I will hide this sketch from Boss Extrude, and we are left with only this contour here. We can go to Curves and use Composite Curves feature. We can create a curve that can be used for this curve-driven pattern. Let's activate a Composite Curve feature, select this sketch, and just confirm it. And here we go. We have a curve. Under this is the sketch we used for creating the curve. Now, let's go to the curve-driven pattern. For direction, I will use this composite curve. And for features, I will select this cut extrude. Next, I want 24 holes. I'll select equal spacing. And now we have what we wanted. So the holes are equally spaced and we have 24 of them. And let's confirm this command. I can hide the composite curve. And basically, we are done with creating the reduction or conversion, however we want to call it. But I want to show you another feature. So we will continue by adding a pipeline here. First, I will create a second flange that is actually being used for connection between these two parts of the pipeline. We can simply use mirror feature for a mirror face. I will select this face here and these here. I want to create a plane in the middle of this. So let's use a reference geometry plane. Let's firstly select this reference. And since I know that the flange is 10 millimeters thick, I will make it half. So 5, let's look at it from this side. So it's going on the opposite side. Let's just say flip offset. We have a new plane. Let's make a sketch on this new plane. I need a circle, which is 1200 millimeters in diameter. Let's offset this circle inwards, 10 millimeters. I have to turn off the construction geometry. So let's reverse the direction. There we go. So I want to extrude this contour. Let's go to Features Extrude and go to Blind 1000 millimeters. Let's see what we have in this cut list. We have several solid bodies. We have 2 of these flanges that are the same. We have this flange on the other side, the rectangular one, and we have this tube here. But I want this tube to be also a sheet metal part. The way I can do it, so the way I can convert solid body to a sheet metal is by using inservents. But what it requires is an opening, a line here, a cut that will be used for converting this solid body to a sheet metal body. What I can do is create a sketch on this surface here. Let's create a line. So I just need a thin cut through this tube. There we go. It has a coincident relation with this outer edge. Let's go to Features Extruded Cut. I will say up to surface, or let's first go to Feature Scope, deselect this outer select and select the tube only. We can say 1000 because we know that this is how long it is, and let's activate the thin feature. I want it up to this surface here. This will only have effect on the tube. Let's select here, mid-plane. So I want the cut to go up and down 5 millimeters here. Let's check it out again. and here it is. So if I change this to one direction, it will go above or below the line, but I want it mid-plane so symmetric over the line. And let's just confirm this command. Now, you can see we have cut this tube with a small cut. Let's convert it to sheet metal. Let's go to sheet metal. And I will simply select this edge, for example, and confirm the command. You can see now in the catalyst that this is also a sheet metal part. Let's save this part again. Let's check the flat patterns of the sheet metal parts we have created. I can open this drop-down menu. These two features are now suppressed. But if I, for example, unsuppress this one, you can see that it is connected to the reduction. I will just get the flat pattern of this part, so of the reduction. And you can simply create a sketch, a drawing from this part, export it as DHG and cut, put it on your CNC plasma cutter, water jet, or whatever you have, and cut this shape. Then using a vending machine, you can make bends on these edges, and you will get this reduction. The other flat pattern we have is just for this tube. Here, it's a simpler rectangle which you have to bend and you will get a tube, and now we are finished. I hope you liked this tutorial. Thank you for watching, and I hope I see you in the next one.